How's the restaurant scene going, especially looking at the last 15, 16 months?
I mean, the answer to that question is probably that the restaurant, the business is under a lot of pressure. But it's also been, I mean, we opened again in April, and I mean, I think most restaurants, that's the picture overall in the city, I think has never experienced as busy months as the last few months, you know. I have a lot of friends in the industry. They talk about having the best sales and all this stuff, and people are, and the crowd is amazing, you know. Everyone is so happy to be allowed to come out again.
And Christian, how has the city changed for you over the last few years?
Well, I think basically now I find myself really having to rediscover the city. I mean, especially after COVID, sitting inside, back-to-back Zoom meetings all the day. And I think before that, I think for many years I more or less moved in tunnels throughout the cities where I used to go and rarely came out of my usual area. So I'm very curious to see more of the city because I think the city is developing so fast. You can see that, and we talked about that on the way, that it's a lot of things, new constructions. The city's just changing, so I'd like to rediscover the city.
From your point of view, how has the city of Copenhagen changed over the last few years?
I think generally the city's continually getting better, broadly speaking. I could say, you know, I've got some small young kids myself, and I feel pretty privileged that I can take them almost everywhere on foot or bike. So I think in many ways it's gotten better. I think on the other hand, it's also become a little bit more of the same, kind of more niceness everywhere. So on the one hand, as a parent, I wanted it to be that safe, secure place. On the other hand, as a citizen, I like to see some more diversity, some more edge, some more unexpected sights that I don't see as many of as I used to.
What words would you use to describe Vesterbro?
It was actually the only part of the city I haven't lived in. But I would, right now, I mean, it would be hipster, it would be trendy, and it would be deep legacies and culture.
What's the most important challenge that we're facing right now as a city?
Survival of businesses, especially in the food industry, and maintaining a rich cultural scene, I think.
And Lars, where should we go from here?
Yeah, well, forward, always forward. I definitely think there is a strong sense in the restaurant community of not going back to what it was because it was just too damn hard to make a business that way. So there is definitely a will to go somewhere else. The question is, what's it gonna be?
But I think if I have to point at one thing, it's tourism. And I think what we were heading at without really noticing is mass tourism. We're expecting to double the tourism within 10 years. And people are saying, well, we just have to spread it out so it's not only in the inner city. But if you double tourism in such a short period of time, I think we have no idea what we're facing.
I think it's, as you talked about before, it's creating a city that's for everybody. There's been a huge focus on doing very expensive owners' apartments that hardly anybody can live in, especially if you own a normal salary. So I think it's also to maintain some of the quirkiness that Copenhagen has. We have Sydhavn, we have this place, Banegården, where finally something is happening, but there's a lot of places that are still very untouched and that I hope will keep their, I think their quirkiness is the best word. And to create some spaces that are not for super high salaries, but welcoming for everybody.
For a long period of time, we've been in a completely, for us, unknown way, prisoner of geography, which is the phrase that you use about communities who in other contexts have no escape of the limitations that a specific location presents them with. And now we are walking away from this unique experience, and we have to learn from that and retain some of the insights. So this is the lessons. How can we extract and retain them?
That's super interesting. It's a city who used to be the place of joy and progress and things, and urbanism and being together was the thing, and also not only here but globally. And now we're in a situation where the city is dangerous and being in prison.
Yeah, but also, I mean, we used to just could travel this way. I mean, today London, tomorrow Paris, and then New York, and okay, back to boring Copenhagen. And now we've been a prisoner in Copenhagen, and I think one of the lessons is that we've learned to a certain extent. We've reconnected with our city. Don't let us forget what the glimpses we got of a city which, beneath all the crisis, is alive and vibrant.
And what is the next thing?
What is the next thing? For me personally, I can only speak of the realm that I operate in, which are restaurants. And the next thing, it's probably come no surprise I'll say this, is that I really think that restaurants are going to move forward in a more sustainable way, a more responsible way. Mass has kind of been, I think, at the tip of the spear for the last 5 years in this, and being in Copenhagen has really allowed us to do that.